sadness. What is it that has made you sad? Just feel it's okay to have feelings and emotions. It's okay to make mistakes. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to make mistakes. I had to be perfect. And if, God forbid, I made a mistake ever, even now, I get people that come down on me quite a bit. But I have a 2-year-old. He makes tons of things that can, literally drive a person crazy. But when we have unconditional love, we don't get angry and upset. Don't let our emotions get the best of us, but we don't act as if there's no way to course correct or change an experience if it wasn't good for us. There might be things coming up. I've shared so much of my story. So much abuse. Mental abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse. But so what? Right? And so what? In the end, if we take full responsibility for our life and we acknowledge our own pain, we won't project that pain onto other people. See, I've taken many, many, many years to learn these techniques, and they're very, very simple and very powerful. You would think the simplest thing is allowing ourselves to just feel sadness. I feel sad that my mom died. On June 16th, I believe it was 34 years. I miss my mom. I'm still sad about it. That's never going to go away. I've never done my wedding celebration because it wasn't a priority for me in life. I didn't want the whole... I'm not that type of a person that wanted this huge big ceremony and all of that fluff and the whole thing, it's just... And then not have a unconditional love, a great relationship, one that's a soulmate, twin flame, most amazing relationship. To me, building together for the last 14, 15, going on 15 years, having that connection, that love, that support through the good times and bad times, a real relationship. Many of you have come to me because when I touched a heart, it's like you have it all on the outside. Your relationship looks perfect on the outside, but on the inside, it's not the right one. It's not the right one. And you know it. Your heart knows it. And you're in it, maybe because of the kids, or because of the finances, or because of the pain of letting go. And there's a lot of sorrow there. Maybe, though, if you look deeper, it's not your relationship. It's not, what I mean is, it might not be the other person. We first look at the person that's the mirror for us. A lot of people look at my videos and you'd be surprised, they're downright mean. But there's a lot of people that look at them more. There's only a few of those, let's say 3. And they think that, they're all the majority. But out of the, let's say, 400 people that watch them, I get like 3 to 5 negative ones. But those are the ones that we remember, isn't it? It's those little things in our relationships that a loved one did the stupidest little thing that our minds, right, the invisible, will hold on to sometimes. And there's sadness there. And we feel, oh, it's our spouse, it's them. When we really need to learn unconditional love and forgiveness. Once we learn to accept the things that make us sad and allow them to flow, we move to the next level. What we're scared of, our fears. Our fears are not real. But this is one of the videos that I put out for a group of people. I'd rather not get into all the details. That with the tag targeted individual and gang stalking. And fears. I didn't get to express myself in that video properly because I was not in the best state of mind. I wasn't completely crazy, but I was having a difficult day, a challenging day because of circumstances. And what I meant to say, I talked a little bit about my grandfather, but what I meant to say is that we as souls take a human body we as souls, we take a physical body and a set of DNA. Our DNA, physical DNA, is one aspect of our DNA. What I was trying to express is that we also have a spiritual and an emotional, a mental, and a financial DNA, blueprint from our mindset, from our soul, from who we were before we were this body. And so when I talked about our fears, come from mindsets that are past life. They come from our soul. They come from a database of who the collective, cumulative, these are big words, the total aspect of our being for all of our lifetimes versus, let's say, this one lifetime that you may be living. And that DNA has in there triggers for life lessons, which is the next series of videos that I will be doing for you, that I called Sacred Messages and Numbers. But what it really is a personal inventory of our life. When we understand our life lessons, why we took a physical body and form, why God gave us this identity, there will only be one you in all of existence. There'll never be another Tulka Marie Indira Hanuman Singh Eastman now. Just one vibration of me, ever. Even if I was cloned, I wouldn't be me. Because my database, my mindset, my software, what's inside grows with my soul from this life to the next life, to the next life, to the next life, to all the incarnations or the forms of life that my being chooses to experience. In this life, I'm having a human experience, and my DNA came from. I'm not putting blame on my forefathers, but what I'm saying is my being is part of that genetic history. Modern science and our doctors and our blood tests, they ask those questions. Their family history of XYZ, family history of, heart disease, a family history of diabetes, a family history. Does your family have a history of, strokes? Does your family have, a history of kidneys problems? Whatever it is. The same way, we should ask the question of our spiritual, emotional, mental, financial DNA. Meaning that my soul incarnated into a family based on that particular set of karma, cause and reaction, right? So we can't blame or put the finger on someone else. We have to accept responsibility. Yes, we do have that particular set of, put it this way, our fears. Having a fear that, let's say, this is hypothetical, that my great ancestor, grandfather, had heart disease. Does that mean that all the people in his lineage will have heart disease? No. Or let's say my great grandmother had diabetes. Does that mean that all the people in her lineage will have diabetes? No. But it means that there's a propensity towards diabetes. Because the soul came into a family with a history, a genetic history of diabetes. The same way the mind works. In just a few years, I'll be the first to tell you, in just a few years, technologies that are going to be coming out that will make our laptops ancient. They're already antiquated. There's technology that because I'm a visionary, or, some people might say crazy, which I think is kind of funny now because I can see it and they can't. So if I can see it in the future and they can't, visionaries always have prophetic vision. It's a gift that God gives us. People that are intelligent, if you have money and you want to make a lot more money in investments, you will understand that this is going to be the biggest thing to hit the market. It will be 3D reality. The current movie theaters are going to change. Our televisions are going to change. We're going to have things that we put on and we're going to actually be in an experience. The technology exists right now because I work with some amazing people and I was able to see this technology. 3D printing is coming out. It exists today, but it's not mainstream. So am I crazy? No, I'm just a couple, maybe 5-7 years ahead of the game. And our fears are like that, based on our mindset. And if our minds, the most powerful tool that God ever gave us, is used to focus on on a pain point, on a negative, it will expand and grow, and our physical reality